but we now have a very special interview lined up for you with the chairman of Pepsico. Barkha Dutt caught up with Indra Nooyi.
The president comes here after a tough political time domestically, and in his own political environment in America, sometimes his critics have sneeringly dubbed him to be too left of center, too much of a socialist. How important is it, you think, for him to carry back a pro-business message for his own country?
You know, as a CEO of a large company, clearly we need policies in the US government that are pro-business, because at the end of the day, we all work within a framework of a country's policies. And in the first couple of years of the Obama presidency, the business community has been at odds with the White House, has been at odds with the policies of the president. And so, whether it's industry organizations, whether it's individual CEOs, we've all had many conversations with the president. And the president himself, after the elections, has come out and said, perhaps I have not been as friendly to business as I should have been. And I think we're going to see a definitely different mood in the next couple of years from the president, because he knows intellectually that business is very, very important. I think we're going to start seeing much more of an outreach to business, because at the end of the day, if big business survives and thrives, lots of small businesses are created, because it's a big ecosystem. So I think we've got to make sure that in the United States, the president sets a policy direction that, first of all, lauds big business and thanks them for what they do, and not let the mistakes of a few taint the good work of the many.
And do you think to that extent that there will be a course correction, and how much of that do you see reflected in the statements you've heard from him so far in India?
It's interesting. In his first 2 years as president, I've had the opportunity of being in many roundtable discussions with him. And in those meetings, I have not seen him to be particularly anti-business. In fact, he's been pro-business in those meetings. I think he's inherited the presidency during a very, very tough time. And there was some corporate malfeasance that he had to deal with, and then he had to deal with an economy that was in trouble. And during that time, he didn't come across as pro-business. And I'm sure he himself realized that something had to change going forward. So I think going back now to the United States, we're going to see a different tone from the White House based on what he said publicly. And in these 2 days here in India, his outreach to business couldn't have been more positive. It's the best I've seen from him.